So this session will take up the transport in the mitochondria. So you are supposed to study TIM and TOM complexes. Okay, so in the syllabus there is something called as TIM and TOM complex. So now we know that the proteins or the enzymes which are required in the mitochondria are produced in two places, right? The proteins or the enzymes which are required in the mitochondria are produced in two places. One is in the mitochondria itself and another one is in the cytoplasm, right? One is in the mitochondria itself and another place is the cytosol or the cytoplasm. So now the enzymes which are produced inside the mitochondria, they will be present inside of this, so there is no transport mechanism required for them. But the proteins which are produced or the enzymes which are produced in the cytosol or the cytoplasm, they have to be transported to the mitochondria. Yes. So if this is a cell, so we have our mitochondria here. Let us imagine this is the mitochondria. Now, somewhere in the cytoplasm here, the proteins are being produced. The protein is produced here in the cytoplasm. From the cytoplasm, it has to be transported into the mitochondria. So, how exactly the transport is happening? The transport is happening by a complex called as, or a mechanism called as TIM and TOM. It's called as TIM and TOM. So since these are actually the enzymes, we usually call it as TIM and TOM complex. We call it as TIM and TOM complex. So TIM stands for translocase of inner membrane and TOM is translocase of outer membrane. Okay, TIM stands for translocase of inner membrane and the TOM stands for translocase of the outer membrane. Both are the enzymatic complexes only. Okay, both are the enzymatic complexes. So how exactly these TIM and TOM are working? So now I'll just wipe this off and I'll draw only the mitochondria, but you should imagine there is also cytoplasm beyond the mitochondria. Okay, so outer membrane and the inner. Okay. Now, the proteins which are produced in the cytoplasm, they get targeted to various destinations of the mitochondria. So, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೈಟೊಕಾಂಡ್ರಿಯಾದ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಔಟರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. The first delivery target is the outer membrane. The second delivery target is the intermembrane space. Intermembrane space. The third delivery target is the inner membrane. It is the inner membrane. And the fourth delivery target is the matrix. So these are the four places where the proteins which are produced in the cytoplasm are being delivered into the mitochondria. So how they get delivered? So we'll first speak about the outer membrane. We'll come from the outer side. So outer membrane ge yav complex work agate? Outer membrane ge TOM complex work agate, right? So TOM complex or the translocase of the outer membrane will facilitate the transport across the outer membrane. Across the outer membrane. So let us imagine now this is all the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm ಅಲ್ಲಿ protein produce ಆಗಿದೆ. Protein produce ಆದಾಗ ಆ protein ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಆ protein primary structure ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ತಾನೆ? When a protein is produced, it is usually produced in a primary orientation or the primary structure ಅಲ್ಲಿ produce ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. And how does the primary structure of a protein looks like? It is just the chain of the amino acids, right? Chain of the amino acids with the C terminal and the N terminal. With the C terminal and the N terminal. ಇದು ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This is called as unfolded protein. Now the proteins which are produced and to be transported to the mitochondria will usually be unfolded ಅಂತ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಮೈಟೊಕಾಂಡ್ರಿಯಾಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವಲ್ವಾ, ಮೈಟೊಕಾಂಡ್ರಿಯಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Now this unfolded protein, okay, this unfolded protein is searched by recognizing its signal peptide. We have already studied about the signal peptide, right? Signal peptide. So signal peptide is a small stretch of the amino acid, a small stretch of the amino acid, which is an indication that this protein has to transport it to the mitochondria. So signal peptide is a small stretch of the amino acid which indicates that this protein has to be transported to the mitochondria. Okay? So ಈ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the Tom complex which is present here. The Tom complex is present on the outer membrane. Okay, ಈ ಟಾಮ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಟಾಮ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಕೆಲವು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ now this protein is coming here to the outer membrane of the mitochondria. But however, when it comes to the outer membrane of the mitochondria, now this Tom complex will take an entry and sends this protein to the intermembrane space in a unfolded form. ಇದು ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿನೇ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಟಾಮ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಈ ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಓಕೆ, ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ now in the intermembrane space there is a protein called as HSP70, mitochondrial HSP70, which stands for mitochondrial heat shock protein 70. Okay. Sorry, there are many heat shock proteins. There are many heat shock proteins. Among all the heat shock proteins, the protein 70, heat shock protein 70 will come and bind to this protein. It will come and bind to the protein HSP70. HSP70 is present in the cytoplasm also. HSP70 is present in the mitochondria also. The one which is present in the mitochondria, we usually write it as empty HSP70, ಅಂದ್ರೆ mitochondrial HSP70. ಬರೀ HSP70 ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅದು cytoplasm HSP70 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು empty HSP70 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅದು mitochondrial HSP70 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so here now the mitochondrial HSP70 will come and bind to this protein, primary protein. Now this HSP70 will fold the protein like this. I'll write the next step. It folds the protein. Okay, it folds the protein and delivers this protein to whichever place, wherever it has been required. ಈ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಗೆ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್. ಯಾವ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಆ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಗೆ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟಾಮ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಟಾಮ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೋಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಔಟರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. So a translocase of the outer membrane will be present on the outer membrane of the mitochondria. So basically ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅನ್ಫೋಲ್ಡೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That protein is carried in a primary form to the outer membrane of the mitochondria. Here the Tom complex will be present. That Tom complex will take the protein inside in the primary form only, and it comes to the intermembrane space. In the intermembrane space, the protein is bound with the mitochondrial HSP70 protein. Okay, remember, this is one of the important proteins. Aita? Protein folding. So most of the times the question has been asked. The protein or the enzyme which is used in the folding of the proteins are called as chaperones and the head. They are called as chaperones. Okay. The proteins or the enzymes which are used in the folding of the proteins are called as chaperones, and there are many chaperones. One among the chaperone is HSP70. Okay, among all the chaperones, one chaperone is HSP70. So HSP70 belongs to the group of the chaperones. Chaperones are the major group. Subgroup idadralli we call them as chaperonins. Okay, chaperones and chaperonins ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ chaperones ಕೆಲಸನೇ folding of the proteins. ಇವನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ನ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಡಿ ಎನ್ ಎ ನ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದ chaperones actually. Okay, so chaperones are a major group of proteins which are involved in the folding of the protein molecules, and one among the chaperone is HSP70. Remember this, chaperones. Okay, so this HSP70 will bind to the primary protein, and then this will start folding the protein into secondary and tertiary structure. Once the proper folding admele, after it achieves its tertiary or quaternary structure, okay, after it achieves its tertiary or quaternary structure, then it will be delivered back to its target. Target ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, 2 ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, 3 ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ 4 ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. This is how Tom complex works. Clear? Huh? Yes. Now coming to the Tim complex. I'll just wipe this off. Tim complex. So Tim complex is translocase of inner membrane which facilitate the transport of the proteins across the inner membrane. Okay, across the inner membrane. So now this is present on the inner membrane. Tim complex. Tim. Okay, Tim is present on the inner membrane. So we usually see two subcomplexes in the Tim. Translocase of the inner membrane are usually two complexes. So one is Tim 23, another one is Tim 22. Okay, so we call them as Tim 23 and Tim 22. So we'll first speak about the Tim 23. Both are present on the inner membrane only. Okay, Tim 23, it usually recognizes the N terminal. It recognizes the N terminal signals. See, a protein. So we have one N terminal, one C terminal, right? N terminal and C terminal. So you sometimes the signal is present somewhere in between like this. Okay, somewhere in between the amino acids. Sometimes the signal is present somewhere here. If it is present here, if the signal peptide is present here, we call it as a N-terminal signal. Okay, we call it as a N-terminal signal. If it is somewhere in between, it is recognized by the Tom complex. Okay, if the signal is somewhere here in the N-terminal, it is recognized by the Tim complex. Okay, now especially the Tim 23. The Tim 23 will recognize the N-terminal signals. Okay, it recognizes the N-terminal signals. After recognizing N-terminal signals, now that protein, so we'll write it from here only. That protein, so this is a TIM complex. So that protein here now will enter the, first it enters the outer membrane, okay, sorry, I mean okay, one second, TOM complex, and then we have the TIM complex. It first enters the outer membrane, and then from here it enters the matrix of the mitochondria. Compulsorily, TIM23 will send the protein into the matrix of the mitochondria. Okay, so only delivery destination is the mitochondrial matrix, whereas the TOM complex after the folding can deliver the protein to the outer membrane again, or it can rest in the intermembrane space, or it can deliver it to the inner membrane, or it can deliver it to the matrix of the mitochondria. But TIM23, it delivers the mitochondrial protein into the mitochondrial matrix. Then the TIM22. So this will recognize the multipass proteins. Multipass proteins ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ they can enter the mitochondria from any end. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದಾದ್ರೂ ಈಗ ಈ proteins, if they are working to the TOM complex or TIM complex ಅಂದ್ರೆ there are certain channels like this. ಚಾನಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಚಾನಲ್ಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಳಗ್ ಬರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಯಾವ ಚಾನಲ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಚಾನಲ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಳಗ್ ಬರಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. There are many porins present on the mitochondria. If you remember the structure of the mitochondria, the outer membrane has got many porins, right? So ಯಾವ ಪೋರಿನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಆ ಪೋರಿನ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಈ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಬಟ್ there are some proteins which we call as multipass proteins ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Multipass proteins can pass through any of the porins. Okay, they can pass through any of the porin of the mitochondria and enter into the inner membrane. They are delivered, the target is the inner membrane of the mitochondria. So TIM22 will deliver the protein into the inner membrane of mitochondria. Okay, so if it has to be delivered into the inner membrane of the mitochondria, then it is TIM22. If it has to be delivered to the mitochondrial matrix, then it is TIM23. If it has to be delivered into the outer membrane or the intermembrane space, or to the inner membrane or to the mitochondrial matrix, then it is the TOM complex. Okay, so this is how the transport of the proteins will take place across the mitochondrial membranes. Clear with this? Yes? Huh? Any doubts? Huh? Copy it down. So semi-autonomous nature of the mitochondria. So we usually call the mitochondria as a semi-autonomous organelle. So what is the reason behind it? The first reason behind calling the mitochondria as the semi-autonomous organelle is its capacity of producing the proteins, It is capable of producing the proteins, right? So on an average, mitochondria requires around 1000 to 1500 proteins, and among them, 1%, among all this 1500, 1% of the proteins is usually produced in the mitochondria itself, and remaining 99% is produced in the cytoplasm. However, 1% of the mitochondrial proteins are produced in the mitochondria itself. Especially the marker enzyme has been produced in the mitochondria itself. It means that in the protein population of the mitochondria, there is the contribution of mitochondria itself. It is capable of producing its required, the enzymes which are required 24/7, so they are being produced mitochondria itself. So it is autonomous and organelle. What do we call as autonomous? When do we call it as an autonomous? When it is independent, right? When it is independent. So for a small group of proteins, for 1% of the proteins, requirement of the mitochondria, it is autonomous. However, it is not completely autonomous also, because remaining 99% is produced by the cytoplasmic ribosomes only. So we call it as the semi-autonomous. The another reason behind calling the mitochondria as a semi-autonomous organelle is it is having its own DNA and ribosomes. It's having its own DNA and ribosomes. So since it is having its own DNA and ribosomes, we call them as mitochondrial ribosomes. So the mitochondrial ribosome is of 70S or it is of 80S. It is of 70S. So where do we see the 80S ribosomes? 80S ribosomes are present in eukaryotic cytoplasm. Then where is the mitochondria present? Mitochondria is also present in the eukaryotes only, no? But 80S or 70S? 70S only. Chloroplast and mitochondria both have 70S ribosomes. Eukaryotic cytoplasm has 80S ribosome. Prokaryotic cytoplasm has 70S ribosomes. Okay. So, since the mitochondria has its own DNA and its own ribosomes, that is the mitochondrial ribosomes, it is capable of carrying out the protein synthesis. So, it is capable of producing its own mRNA, its own rRNA and its own tRNA. Since it is capable of producing all these three types of RNAs on its own for some of the protein requirement, it is called as the semi-autonomous organelle. The first reason is because it is capable of producing 1% of the protein requirement. It is fulfilling its 1% protein requirement on its own, right? And the second reason is it is having its own DNA and the mitochondrial ribosomes, and hence it is capable of producing its own mRNA, its own tRNA and its own rRNA. So these two are the reasons why the mitochondria is called as the semi-autonomous organelle. So this proves the semi-autonomous nature of the mitochondria. Okay. So this completes the mitochondria complete information. So we just left with the transport of the proteins across the chloroplast, and that is by Tick-Tock complex. We have Tim-Tom complex here, then we have Tick-Tock complex, and the semi-autonomous nature of the chloroplast. Okay, so that will take up in the next session.